Hello, it is Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. I'm Chris Bremo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Tuesday crossword, which means we're going to be solving an early week themed, relatively approachable puzzle, I would think. And as you can maybe tell by the background, I'm back in my normal environment, at least for the time being. And this normal early week themed edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by a new patron, Carolyn Springer. So welcome to her, and thanks, Carolyn, for becoming a benefactor of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. It does keep this thing going day in, day out. Carolyn is, of course, joined, as always, by the indomitable Schulmaster, the incorrigible Sheeler Beeler, the indefinable Charlie Paget, and the indecipherable Ray Grant. So thank you so much to all five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. And if you'd like to support the channel in the same way, you can head to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the description field link where you'll find the bonus videos available to patrons. And for benefactors, such as Carolyn now, you will get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses official mug. Thanks again to everybody who has signed up for that at any level. And thanks as well if you subscribe on YouTube, which is a big help. And finally, there's that Daily Solve Discord chat server you can join to chat with other members of the Daily Solve community. It's a nice friendly place over there. And there's a link in the description field. Let's start solving this, shall we? It's a debut construction by Kevin L. Shalito. It was edited once again by Joel Faliano. It's a Tuesday puzzle. There will be a theme. Let's find out what it is, and let's start solving. Bread served with baba ganoush. Pita bread is often served with baba ganoush. Smooth over in a way you could pave a road, smooth it over. Muslim leader would be an imam. Bathroom powder, talc, like talcum powder. What someone counting sheep wishes to be. They wish to be asleep. Something to which I can relate. Reddit Q&As are AMAs, Ask Me Anythings. And here we have Washington Post, ? Valley Forge? Oh, yes, it is, because it means, it's referring to Washington, the man for whom the city and state are named. So he was posted during the Revolutionary War to Valley Forge in terms of his command. So there we go. All right. So that's a bit of U.S. history there. And I wonder if that will be true for the remainder of the theme or not. Obviously, this has been referred to in a punny sort of way. So it does this. I assume this is going to be part of the theme, but we'll find out. Fish that can swim backwards. Eel can do that. And comedy club host, you might have an MC, a master of ceremonies, but sort of written out here phonetically. State trees of Massachusetts must be elm trees. That looks correct. And a choice for the indifferent. Any. You could say, I'll have any. I'm indifferent. Half calf coffee order, a half sort of half caffeinated, half decaffeinated coffee. Trim as a photo could be to crop it. And like a drive in the woods, ? Is this something to do with golf? A wood club and driving the golf ball? I have no idea. Consent to accede to something, to consent to it. Or it could be accept. No, you wouldn't say accept to. The parenthetical to here means we're going to apply it to the answer as well as to the clue. So we need to be able to put to after the word we fill in. Okay, so I don't know what the drive in the woods is still. Hot summer period named for the constellation Sirius. The dog days, right? And I don't exactly. I mean, I guess that's when Sirius was visible. So I guess that's why the summer months are called that. Like the Bosporus, notably. Narrow, the Bosphorus Strait that divides, well, that serves as sort of one of the traditional division points between Asia and Europe. I assume that's what this is referring to. Like a drive in the woods. Error does this mean if you sort of, maybe it is still golf, but if you hit the golf ball into the woods, it's an error or something? I'm not sure. Lengthen with unnecessary material as a speech. You could pad out a speech, and that's unnecessary. So what is this? Like a drive in the woods. Oh, errant, as in it's gone astray. Okay, I think that's right. So here we have a hair removal brand, Nair, I think, which I believe is a contraction of no hair. At least I've always assumed that. I guess I don't actually know it. It's just always seemed likely to me. If you're bumbling, you're inept. You're not very skillful. To greet the day would be to arise. A molecule bit is an atom. Molecules are made up of atoms. And a nanny's nightmare is a brat, I suppose. Troublesome child. Symbol in the sky above Gotham City, that would be the bat signal used to summon Batman. And Bronco or Beetle, e.g. An auto. These are both just car models. So Ford Bronco, which I assume is discontinued at this point, or a Volkswagen Beetle. To overflow with something would be to team with it, to be replete. And Zendaya's role on Euphoria, I've never actually seen that, but I guess she plays a character, Rue. At least I hope that's right, based on the crosses. If you sampled a beat, say you ate it. So obviously this is playing on the idea of sampling beats in music. So using a clip from another recording and then manipulating it. But nope, in this case you just ate some beetroot. All right, a London lad is a chap, I suppose. Appropriate for me being back in London today. Necklace fastener, a clasp, I guess. Very in slang. Hella, some sort of what I used to associate with kind of Northern California slang. Bye-bye to Bonaparte, so referring to presumably Napoleon Bonaparte, but really just referring to the French language in general. And you could say adieu to bid someone goodbye. So if you were out in front in a race, you led the race. San Francisco Examiner, question mark. Right, okay. So here's another presumably theme clue. San Francisco. So San Francisco Examiner, if this were a capital E, there's a newspaper, a San Francisco newspaper called the San Francisco Examiner, but that's obviously not what we're doing here. Oh, 49er, right. So these days, that phrase is used mainly in a sports context, but it comes from the year 1849 when people rushed to the San Francisco Bay Area to prospect for gold, and they were called, those people were called the 49ers. And I guess you could call them examiners. They were examining the soil, I guess, trying to find gold. RASD grads degree. I think that's the Rhode Island School of Design, so that would be probably a Master of Fine Arts would be a common degree obtained from that school. Absorbs with up, you sop up soup, for instance, with some bread, maybe. Nickname for dad could be Paps, maybe? Or Papa is more likely, sorry. Hike, if you hike prices, you raise them. Not my typo, sick. So you put sick in brackets, such as these square brackets here, and that indicates that the mistake in the text was not introduced by you, but was in the original. One way to pay would be, I was going to say card, but it could be cash, and actually they both are CA, so I don't know which it is. Road crews supply, salt maybe? Salt the roads after snowfall or ice? Not sure if that's what we want, but it's plausible. Grazing, yes, a grazing land is a lea, a kind of meadow. So, okay, so let's keep finishing off areas where we already have some crosses. Walker, who wrote The Color Purple, Alice Walker wrote that novel. And a World Heritage Site in Jordan is Petra, that really, where you find that incredible sort of temple carved into a cliff face, just ridiculously picturesque. Comes down, I have a friend who did an archaeological dig there. Comes down as a wintry mix. It sleets. Although most people like me would have been first introduced to that location through its presence in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I think. Boston Herald, question mark. Oh, Paul Revere, right. Okay, so these are all U.S. history clues here. So Paul Revere, who famously sort of warned the American revolutionaries that the British are coming. So he was a herald. He announced this. All right, prison divisions are cells. And what baking soda and vinegar simulate in a classic science fair experiment? Lava in a sort of science fair volcano. Multiple would be several of a thing. And to clear out would be to vacate a home, for instance. Eco-warrior, a certain activist. So in this case, someone who's an environmental activist. And then what tahini is made from? Sesame seeds. You grind them up, and that's tahini. Kind of chip named for its inventor, Ignacio Anaya Nacho. That's great. I didn't know that. I mean, I guess it makes sense because Nacho is a nickname for Ignacio, but I'd never really thought about the likelihood that nacho chips were named for somebody. That's a great fact. Okay, part of an online thread, an email, I suppose. You could have an email thread. And if one uses Airbnb or VRBO, one rents a short term, usually vacation rental. Pie variety whose pronunciation inspires debate. This is one of those words, yeah, pecan or pecan. I guess I say pecan. It's one of those words where I always feel uncomfortable when I'm saying it because I haven't, I don't come in contact with this nut often enough to have ever naturally had my own sort of internalized pronunciation of it. So every time I say it, I have this vague sensation that I'm doing something wrong because I don't have an internalized pronunciation of this. I think I lean towards pecan by instinct, but I still feel unsure when I say it. I mean, I know that both pronunciations are considered valid, but that doesn't stop my irritating brain from bothering me for no reason. Beltway bigwigs are Poles politicians. So the Beltway referring to, I actually don't know what, I assume the Beltway is a particular motorway in the sort of Washington, D.C. area. I don't know which one it is, but you often hear that used to describe the area within which kind of U.S. federal power is located. Anyway, Hoosier Hoopers are, these are basketball players, presumably. So is Hoosiers, is that Indiana, I think? But I don't know who these are. I wonder if it's Pacers, like Indianapolis 500. Are those pace cars? I don't know the difference between all these things. I'm wondering if that's the case, but I don't know it. One way to pay would, okay, so it is card. We have that. And then facts and figures are data. Shaking my head is, oh, maybe tisk, maybe a sort of scolding. And then the brackets here because we're making a nonverbal sound. Okay, surveys. So survey could be to ask a question, or it could be a survey, could be the list of questions, but all surveys could also mean, to survey could be to look around and to take stock. I'm not sure which of these it is. Signals on set. Cuts, if you call cut on a film set, maybe? I don't think that's right. Item of apparel for Zorro or Dracula. Cape. They both wear capes, right? Signals on set. Oh, cues, right. Okay, so you might give an actor might get a cue. Now it's their time to perform their action or enter or whatever. Condo, e.g., is a unit, so that a shared ownership unit inside a larger building. Sicilian volcano is Mount Etna. One of 20 quadrillion worldwide, per a recent estimate, ant. 20 quadrillion ants. It's a meaningless number for my brain. No idea how to conceive of that. Item in a tailor's kit could be a pin. Southwest forecast for short, ETA. So this is referring to Southwest Airlines, the air carrier. So an estimated time of arrival for a flight. Surveys right. Kansas City Star, question mark, right. Okay. I don't know that I can bring to mind any Kansas City history offhand. So I might have to come back to that. Maybe I'll recognize it. Who knows? Untapped as potential. If you have latent potential, it's sort of present in you in some way, but not yet realized. Personnel investments could be clerics, or no, maybe the clergy, sort of in aggregate, as opposed to specific individuals. But yes, I mean, members of a religious order or just, priests or other religious figures might wear vestments. Extra attention in brief. TLC, tender loving care. And if something's concluded, it's over, it's ended. So what is this? Kansas City Star. Travis, someone maybe? Gerund suffix, ing, right. So running, walking, those are examples of gerunds. And total dump is a sty, a pigsty. Surveys, yeah, still don't know. Hoosier Hoopers, okay. Smart Alec or Smart Acre. Why? Oh, no, it says wiseacre, so we're not going to have acre. So probably Smart Alec, a phrase to refer to someone who's a bit annoyingly witty. Maybe not as witty as they think. Organization for the SEC and ACC. Are these? I think these might be related to sports conferences of some kind. Maybe could it be the NCAA, the National Collegiate Athletics Administration? Could be college sports. I'm not sure. Let's try it and see if that works. Survey. Yeah, okay. If you scan the area, you survey it. So that does work. And then Hoosier Hoopers, maybe it is Pacers. Really pleased with myself for inferring that, if so, I think from only that P originally. Your derriere, your rear, your behind. Evidence of healing could be, well, I was going to say scab. It could be a scar as well. I guess no, it's probably a scab because by the time there's a scar there, it's already healed as much as it's going to, I would think. So probably a scab. And that's right, because Belgrade native is a Serb, a Serbian person. So Travis Kelsey? I don't think I recognize that name, but it's not right. Okay. Oh, no, obviously that's not right. Why did I put SIRB? No, Serb. SERB as in Serbian. I even said that. So who is it? I mean, I still don't know who this is, unfortunately. Travis Kelsey. I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't matter because we've solved the puzzle. So obviously someone from Kansas City history in some way. But that's that. Let's look at our theme, which was I think unremarked upon in the clue. So we had no revealer. We had no clue that explained what was going on with the themed answers in this puzzle, but that's okay because we already filled them in. So we had our Washington Post, Valley Forge, our San Francisco Examiner, a 49er. The Boston Herald was Paul Revere, and finally, a Kansas City Star is Travis Kelsey. And there we have it. This will be it. I do often see in the comments in the Daily Solve Discord chat server, people are sometimes a bit aggrieved when the clues are too U.S. centric, but it is a U.S. based newspaper, so I guess that just comes with the territory. Anyway, those people might be slightly aggrieved again today, but let me know how you fared with this puzzle, this Tuesday crossword. Hello, I'm inserting myself in. I'm editing myself back into this video because something that escaped me entirely when I was originally recording the wrap up to this theme was that all of these all of the theme clues are actually newspaper names. So I specifically mentioned that with San Francisco Examiner. I think I maybe subconsciously noticed it with Washington Post. I had stopped thinking about it with Boston Herald, even though I do recognize that as the name of a newspaper. And then I didn't even remotely think about it with the Kansas City Star, even though I've heard of that as well. So the Washington Post, San Francisco Examiner, Boston Herald, and Kansas City Star are all newspaper names. And I guess because I lived so much of my life in San Francisco, I was most attuned to that one. But there you go. So the theme is not just. They aren't just these sort of funny, arbitrary puns. They have a very specific theme around them. So there we go. And now I'll get back to myself with whatever it was I was saying before. Anyway, that was the Tuesday crossword. I'll be back tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of the puzzle, the midweek, mid-difficulty edition. So join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Tuesday. Take care.